Now we're live. Sure. Hello, guys. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Dimacheroni, Huyanant. Good evening. I don't know how to say it in other languages, but I'll learn. It's been such a long week, guys. I'm trying to gain back my energy. Weekend, actually, because it's Monday. Sure, I'm thinking it's Wednesday. But anyway, welcome to Around the Table Conversations with KBM, myself. I am Katleho Buntle Mutingwe. Some of you know me as Kat. Some of you know me as B or Katleho Obuntle, whatever nickname that you have. I'm really comfortable with it. I think I'm like the most chilled person when it comes to names. But I will correct you if you spell my name wrong. So yeah. Thank you for joining us for another conversation around the table. And this week's conversation with the men is not going to be as heavy as last week. But thank you to everybody that's always watching or that's always listening. I mean, some people do listen to things that are online and not necessarily watch. But thank you to everybody that's participated. I think it's been an amazing journey. This is episode 8. To initially think I just wanted 5 episodes, but I'm glad that as the Around the Table team, we're able to make a difference and we're able to be enablers and conversation starters. There's a term I saw on social media about people that have conversations generally and kind of host these things. So I'll think about it and I'll remember actually, and I'll possibly just introduce it during the show. But without wasting too much of your time, last week I was hosting alone, but my co-host is back. And I think I'm happy, because it was very scary hosting men as the only woman last week, because you're thinking, am I going to be biased? Am I saying the right things? But I'm grateful that I was still able to hold it down, and still engage. I know we went over time. We actually finished at 7:15 to 7:10, but I liked the conversations. I enjoyed them. Hello, Mzo. I can see you there. You're logged in. And welcome to everybody that has joined us. Hello, Brucey.
Hola, hola, hola. How's it be?
Oh, you've got the energy today. Okay, I see it. I see. I feel it. I feel like Mike
I'm a year old. So, hey, man.
Oh, how was your birthday?
It was cool. It was dope, man. I had a beautiful day. So yeah, I missed being on air though, but yeah, I'm glad that I'm back today. So yeah, looking forward to it. How you been?
I've been great. I've had a really rough week and weekend. More work pressure than anything, and obviously with everything else that's going on with all these things, I mean, I must still make time for all the other projects that I'm doing. So I have been overwhelmed. I won't lie, but I think it's part of the journey. It's just having to find the balance as well. Homeschooling doesn't really help, but yeah. It's just finding the balance and then just taking the time to breathe again. So I think tomorrow will kind of be that day where I've just put everything together because it's a holiday. So no meetings, none of that. It's just putting the work in.
Yeah, we need to rest tomorrow. Like we need to also celebrate the day of being young and give each other some celebrations. There's nothing but together and celebrating each other and doing amazing things. So, shout out to you for starting this platform and other people who are doing amazing things. We are joined by 2 great giants today who have done amazing things, especially in the township, done amazing things to inspire other people as well in the township. So, yeah, tomorrow is our day. We need to live it. We need to also carry the spirit of what happened in the 1976 and then how we are the different generation or how we are the different young ones doing amazing things. So, tomorrow is real about us. No emails. Please, no text, nothing. We are just there.
I know there's one person here who actually just never stops working, like and I understand, how in the world do you not stop? How in the world do you just keep going and going and going? That is me introducing you to the show.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not working now.
Look at him. He's everywhere. Like, you see Uguti, everywhere. Like he's always working. He's always doing something. Like you just never catch, but relaxing.
No,
You know?
but there's really nothing else for me to do, kahle, hey?
It's like,
It's
come
like-
on, Abantwana, go do something. Take a walk. Like, I don't like me.
I think maybe one day. But I got
So you work as part of your daily, like it's your daily essential. There's nothing else for Banele except
it's my day. It's like the day. I'm sure I don't work. I don't work. I'm sure like there's other people that work.
No, you're
yeah.
the one person I know that
my
works
sister.
so much.
Yeah?
Like you're the one person I know that really works so much. Like we are
Yeah.
Lali.
Banele.
Yeah, no, I'll lie. But anyway, guys, that is Banele Riwo. He is part of so many organizations. Like I'm not going to keep up with any of them, but I think the one that we all know is We Are Coming for Everything. It's a black. It's got a with the afro and the thing there, you know. But I think it's been such an amazing platform because it's given people so many opportunities. It's also exposed us to so many other people that are running businesses as young black people, you know. And without wasting any time, I'm going to introduce. I know him as Wireless G, and that's all I've known him for like the longest of times until the one time I actually had to find his name, and I didn't know that your name is such a deep Tswana name. Khalibuwe, ne? Did I pronounce it right?
Correct.
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means it's the equivalent of Maibuye in the Zulu.
Oh, yes.
And it's a name that's in relation to the land because my grandparents and my parents were staunch activists. So it's a name that's in relation to getting back the land.
So are you
getting it back?
Am I getting it back?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my portion of it.
Oh, you're doing something. You're doing something.
1 square meter at a time, right?
Excuse me?
I'm saying 1 square meter at a time. We are getting the land 1 square meter back at a time.
We don't have to do it for everything. And it's also not for me. Yeah? It's for the next generations, for my daughter, her sister,
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
But anyway, guys, sorry.
I think today's topic then ties in back with generations because we're talking about township economy. We're going to be talking about what we are starting now, what has been started before that can feed off the next generation. So welcome, gentlemen, to tonight's episode, which is episode 8. We are talking about the township economy. But before I get into it, I just want to find out from you guys, Banele and G, where do you guys wear your watch? Which hand do you mostly put your watch in?
What's that? I mean,
Which
I'm
watch
just.
you put on a P?
Anguzwa. Why ukhulumela ukude manje? Right
How? Ben right, manje angisazi. Uyangizwa no?
What's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying iwash ulfaka ngakuphi?
Iwash.
Yeah.
Wash. I don't know wash. Would be on my left, but I don't know wash.
So if you had you wear it on.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it would be on my left if I were to wear a watch.
Okay.
Why
And
don't
why?
you wear a watch?
Yeah?
Why don't you wear a watch?
Because there's a phone and watches are expensive.
Okay. But okay.
They are, aren't they? Yeah. And the last watch I had was those iPhone watches, whatnot. But the problem is that when it breaks, you know, like it cracks and all of that. You know, when you walk into walls, when you have a watch, you all of a sudden your wrist walks into walls. Yeah, and Mangafangi watch, I never remember hitting a wall. You know, so I think it's just an expensive. That thing is like 1,000.
Yeah, I one as well. And G, which hand do you have your watch on?
Wear a watch. I own a couple. I don't wear watches anymore, but I use my left hand. A couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, I started subscribing to very like a Steve Jobs mentality when it comes to like cleanliness. So I don't have any tattoos. I don't wear any jewelry. I don't have any watches.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I never used to wear a watch as well, but I wear a watch on my right hand facing up because I was raised Wuti, women always wear their watches on their right hand and it must face down. But because I have the iWatch, it's very difficult to have the iWatch facing down on this side of your wrist, you know. So everything you do
I would do that actually. I mean, I think that for me that will work. I would put it on my left because it's the hand that I use less, and I would put it on the inside so that I don't hit walls. But you know, it would be such a thing for society.
With the iWatch, you know, I think the iWatch is also really different from all other watches. But it's we can't wait for that, for thesis and all of that stuff. But anyway, just to get the show going, guys, I mean, you've probably had so many interviews, you've probably participated in a lot of activities around your work or just as people in general, you know. When you heard about today's topic, I mean, what's the first thing that came to mind when you thought township economy? Was it like it's one of those moments, or is it it's an opportunity to then have this conversation again?
Vanilla? Okay.
Oh. All right. No. For me, for me is that right now there's a lot of interviews and podcasts and you know, all of these things that are happening right now, which is good. It's excellent. We all have the technology now to actually conduct these things. I also had my own podcast and whatnot, and I think it's when someone would actually look at it and think, no, the market is being crowded, whatnot, but it's actually good because now kuzofuneka real talent, and from real talent we want different perspectives of interviews. So when I saw Township Economy, I said, okay, that's something that is relevant to me because I'm wearing it today. Now Khalibu is here. You are doing that online, so it's relevant for me to be here. Yeah, so and then you know, I know you're not gonna ask me where do you see yourself in 5 years. You know, that's we're done with that.
What's wrong with that?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you know. So I expect real engaging conversations because if you pulled Uchi into this conversation, which he has been doing this there, I think no less than 15 years, you know. So I think he's the right person, Uchi. Let's engage with him. So it's exciting. Why would I not want to share a stage with this man? What's
around the topic?
Okay, I'm one person that doesn't really like these terms. Like, I don't like the township economy because I feel like there's a part where we alienate some people. That we don't put in this table. Like for me, the they're part of the township economy. Umbila is part of the economy, but it's very segregating because we don't talk about the urban or the village economy. We don't talk about any other economies. So why? But it's at the same time, like, big shout out to Mayor Makura for coming up with this term because it helps everyone focus on a certain particular area, no? But personally, on a personal note, I don't really like terms like this. That's what I thought. But I also know that the urgency of having this conversation. I also know the importance of the conversation, you know? So you have to participate, especially as a business or part of as a representative of a business that's been around for 15 years tomorrow, officially.
Oh, wow. So perfect timing, actually, for the conversation. Wow. I feel like every time I bring people onto the show, there's always something aligned with it, you know, even with all other shows. I remember the first show was speaking to George, you know, and like something amazing was happening in his life at that particular point, you know. So with every guest as well, I feel like how, you know, timing it's always perfect, you know. But I guess it's in the universe, you know, and we thank people for bringing us together some way or the other. I know I've never spoken to you, G, but you've always been a big brother lingering in the back somewhere, you know what I mean? And Ubanele has always been that one person who will always either push me or involve me in something, or there's always something going on, man. You know, like I said, he's a very busy person. But I feel
I don't think Banele is busy. Let me tell you something, Banele. Let me try reframe it. He's not really busy. He's a person that has a very high rate of execution. True. And having a high rate of execution doesn't necessarily render you busy, but he's a man that deals with a lot of action and not a lot of.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the reframing.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we are talking,
you know, we're opening a store tomorrow. We're carrying theses, right? Ubuntu will actually tell us what her role is in that show, but not now. Let's deal with that.
You're taking over the show. Don't take over the show. No, don't take
over me. What do you want to know? Where do you go?
No, we know you want
gathering.
But yes, anyway, guys, can you hear us, Bruce? I feel like there's a lag. I don't know if you want to log off and then maybe log on again because your network is very slow. Please log off and then log on again because there's a lag, right? But I'll just carry on in the meantime. Gentlemen, I know like me, and it was a thing that my grandparents had businesses, you know, in the township. It was a thing with and for some odd reason, you are always labeled either the cheese girl or the cheese boy or whatever it is that's going on, you know. But G, you touched on something very important. Uguti, Noma Masekonen is part of this economy, right? Noma Moteng Sumbila and the person selling streets and mashamsham in the streets and all of that, right? How do we accommodate those people into this economy? You know, how do we accommodate those people as part of, I won't say it's a gathering, you know, but as part of a community where we are housing other businesses, you know? Like how does that work for Umuntu Ohlele Stratini as opposed to you and Banele who possibly have a shop somewhere or Itoro Zagiti that have always been sitting there?
I think, so when it comes to like defining, when it comes to an economy, it's very, it's always the person that pays the tax. You know, like how they're never part of the economy because they don't pay tax. They don't, whatever that they do is not deemed to be a tax-paying equation. So I think if we have to dissect that question, we have to ask ourselves, are those people paying tax? How do they pay tax? How do we get them into the tax economy? Because essentially that's what it is. For you to be deemed part of a certain economy, whether it's the township economy, the agricultural economy, you have to be paying tax. So I think there is a way of putting them in everything that South Africans do. We're really good at planning, really good at what we see things, but it's the implementation and it's the monitoring that's always the problem. So no one is there to monitor whether it's the taxes or monitor bona labo, mama labo, but we have to find a way of how do we put them into that very high class and high level conversation of tax and the economy essentially.
But I think also, if I may come into that, when we're talking about formalizing them, right, wouldn't maybe register a company for her to trade that, right? But last corner, they have a tax number, maybe, in whatever that I stokayo, and attending is whatever I think is like. Doesn't that all also maybe fall back into the system of us trying to formalize, or does she have to have maybe a tax number or whatnot to contribute into the economy?
Then the question becomes that last corner, does she have a vendor number, because those vendor numbers for them to give you, you need to be very compliant. That's the word. So it's about that, and I think it's like how I always measure these things is personally when you used to do thesis social jam session. So we did it, then when we got closed, and the reason why we got closed, and this is like or why we closed, this is what people must know. We closed because JOC became expensive. So JOC got introduced into doing events, and to do an event, and before you even put up a fence, you have to be like 40,000 or 50,000 people.
Yeah.
So that's why we couldn't do them. So I think that there's a way of putting those people into the system, but the way you put them, you have to classify it easily so that they can enter the system. So we are entering these positions, whether it's events from a job perspective. You're doing an event that has 1,000 people, but you have to joke like you have Chiefs versus Pirates.
Yes.
It's very wrong. So the parameter of entry is very high. It's pitting a very small business and umama against the Bidvest. It's wrong, So
when you say that, I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was saying, so, as you're saying that, I mean, sure. I mean, eventing also then becomes a different conversation altogether. But the basis of why you guys were doing the thesis social jams is because you're keeping the brand alive. And it's part of the social elements of what you're doing, right? So when we then talk about Makura and introducing this topic as township economy and so forth, how do you think the government caters to the street vendor? Are they catered for in part of all of this when the conversations and the stats come up? Are they catered for? Like, how does it work?
Vanilla?
I don't. I'm thinking of the question, Uguti. When you talked about Indaba text before the text, we need to then define a township economy, right?
Yeah.
Let's define township economy. I think informally, it's there informally, and before COVID, we were just cruising. We need to, Uchi is right to say, JOC became expensive and whatnot, because our systems were not proper. Now, after the pandemic happened, we actually realized, Uchi, our businesses, the business that we Black people, the majority that we participate in, are not fit to stand a situation like a pandemic. So so that's when we realized, Uti, Labantu Labawa iPaza are nothing really, because they don't have a relationship with the government, which is the point Leah takes. So government was lax about it. And remember, Uti, when we say Uti, that woman, Tom, when you say that woman goes to Africa cash and carry to buy, maybe she's paying tax. Remember, with Africa cash and carry was accused of, I think, bailing out of 1 billion that they do not pay. So they're dodging tax, these people. So now after this whole COVID thing, that's when they started wanting to formalize e-PASA, for example, actually now it's time to do it, because they saw this informal thing, it was okay because it wasn't giving people problems. But let's into lie to when it really matters, who owns real businesses? And real businesses are those that would operate if there was a situation of war in the country and your business would open. That's a real business.
On that note, wait, sorry to interject. On that note, the question on the screen says, how can we revive all these vacant shops in the hood, right? So the vacant shop speaks to Abo Mama Base Stratin. Do you think they even think about
No, Labo Mama Labo, we can't think ukuthi they are going to figure it out. Ukuthi they need to formalize it. There's gonna come a person, right, who's going to sell that mentality to those people and corral them and bring them together, and then do something like that. Because if they are leaderless, right? Because they were supposed to be assisted by the government. Government was supposed to be their leader to do this. Now this presents an opportunity for an entrepreneur to go and collect bonke labo mama laba and say, send me 10. Out of this 10, we are going to now, instead of stock we want, so stock I see 50. So it needs leadership. It's a problem of leadership. But Uguti bona bazozenzela, they're not, because there's lack of information. Not Uguti, they don't have information, bona. They have information on local level. They need some young person needs to come and show them where we need to go. Young child.
But
So
also, I think I'm saying if we are talking about township economy and then industrializing our labo mama laba who were owning a tuck shop before Pakistan came in and stuff like that, right? Let's not forget that it township economy, it's not only labo mama labo. You know, we have bricklayers, emakas, we have hair salons, we have butchers, we have abo mama laba planta ma veg and then sell those things and stuff. But now, how do we make sure we see, instead of stock a food mart in Joburg, we'll use the orange and stuff? How about plantations and stuff? That way we are owning in value chain. Is value chain also a topic that we need to own in the township economy?
Someone has to do it. But can I just make this point? Point? Okay. When it comes to all these mamas, right? When it comes to informal, someone needs to get on the pedestal and say, I will lead you. I will take this industry to Pakistan. It was someone came up with the idea and say, let's go to South Africa and sell ama met. That's what they started selling on it. And then someone again said, oh, actually, let's buy this plaza. There should always be someone who's going to get into the leadership position. So I mean, I think when it comes to that side of business, we just need leadership, and then we can engage on other township businesses. Like, for example, TC is doing well for 15 years, for example. For 16 years. Yeah, and that we need to get into that. We can leave the mamas.
I think. Can I just present? Okay, there was an initial question that had to do with how can we revive the vacant shops in the township? No? The only way you can revive those shops is to find the owners and try to change their mindset. But good luck on fighting the family politics. That's the only thing that I can say. You have to fight the family politics.
What does that mean, Jean?
What family politics? So your father or your parents owned taxis, yeah?
Yeah.
God forbid, yes, your grandparents. God forbid your uncle went to jail because of apartheid. When he comes back, he wants his share of the taxis. But your father's now running these taxis, and that's how those are the little dynamics that happen in all these things. There's family dynamics and politics inside the ownership of those shops. So you can revive those shops. It's a matter of getting the right person inside the family that's going to help you fight. And once you get that person, you're going to show them the longevity of it, because it's property and you are a tenant and you want them, and you just want to pay rent. And whatever you get, you can change it around. So that's how you do it. There's no. So the government cannot take those shops away from the owners of those shops. So don't put government in those. As an individual, go find whoever owns that space and go for it. I think that was the question that came in. Then there's this conversation that
in that regard. Sorry, G. We are talking about finding labo mama laba our own Alama Township or those families who own the townships and stuff, right? Because we want to resuscitate Lezo Ipaza shop and stuff. But now there's ShopRite and Checkers coming into our hoods.
So the government defeats, especially in the, how can I put it, in the retailing sector of food. The government defeats the black person or the people, the formal and the informal, whatever you want to call them, the informal people. That's where the government defeats those people, because the government partners with Pick n Pay and Netbank, and they come and they finance anyone. It can be Reggie Go Macheta, it can be the one go Rockville, the one go Middlelands, and they go and they take over those shops on those shops that we're talking about, and because they'll be the anchor tenants and they come with a big brand, it's very easy for them to close the path. And I think for me personally, the big fight when it comes to those mamas, the way you put Banele, is that in terms of once they are formalized, they have to find a structure or a place where they can have this big shop, whatever shop it can be the one Kamo Chablani for Boatibamo Towecho who are watching. It can be there, and they open up their own thing. We can open up a market where the government, that's what they need to support, because our government in itself re-engineers who we are. They will come, if Pick n Pay or ShopRite comes and they talk, they listen to them. But even if you come united, if you come individual, it's very hard for them to listen to you. So they have to come united and come back.
So that place, Yako Newtown, what was it called? Newtown, man, in next to the open, where it was a co-working with a space with the shops and all of that. So is that the model that you are referring to for Abad Baselokshin or the township? Let's call it the township. Saying coming together means you're finding a space where you're all going to set up, right? And run all these businesses. But it's going to run obviously under one hub, because that's the model that was happening there.
It's one of a lot of different models. I mean, Kamo Barakoma Soling, how can into Soweto?
Yes. That empowerment center.
Yes. Pakistan tried to build a Joburg market so that you don't have to travel to the market, but there were stumbling blocks. People didn't know about that, But our government is very quick to cut things when they don't work. That's one part.
So
I'd like to add on to that, Bundle, right?
Yes.
I wanna Uchi, when he's talking about to government, if you go to government alone as an individual, you're not gonna get anywhere with it. And then Pick n Pay comes, and then they are allowed, right? You look at the taxis. The taxis have the power to bend government. If this is how you work government. If you have money, you find money wherever way. You're an entrepreneur, whatever, you'll find money. And then you go and speak to a politician. You tell a politician what the politicians must do, right? Because you have the money. Because politicians, give them money, and then they're gonna do what needs to be done. Which is the same thing that Pick n Pay is doing. It's just that because we say it's corrupt. No, it's not corrupt. That's how it works all over the world when it comes to politics, right? So now, when you open, there's a story with him, and there was a guy, right, an architect. Now what they did was they opened a very big office park, right, and then they made ways. They made pathways, right, between the buildings, the 4 buildings. And people do not use those pathways, right? Because they walked where it was convenient for them. So now the idea is that when you do a structure, you put grass, and then you let people decide where they're gonna walk, and then that's where you put a pavement. So now, what he's saying, which by Vulile, this thing by Vulile Pangasepara, for example.
Yes.
And people do not know. It's because people are not tuned to going there. If you want to do something like that, why did they get it right in Cliptown? It's because it was already there.
It was already there, yes, from Abu Mama, all of that.
Yeah,
and because also the center of
correct.
Isoweto, Eldos, or whatever.
Exactly.
Down, you know? So it's
correct. That's how they should approach it. They shouldn't do what they think should be done. They should do what the people are saying it should be done. And how does that happen? I keep saying, guys, I think in this whole conversation, I'm just going to stress on one thing. Young people, they need to come in and lead these things. These people, there is no group of people that will just miraculously decide to change anything. No. Someone needs to come in and say, I will sacrifice myself. I will sacrifice myself.
Niti, you've already started. I mean, most Jalangama Pakistan and how you started a shop and you kick Pakistans out, all of that. So you've started, but how can a person carry on?
Let me tell you, but when I started this thing going against Pakistan, you know who was the most dangerous person to face? Even though Pakistan told me live they were gonna kill me, you know, the most dangerous people to deal with were black people. The people in the street, the people who owned the yard where you wanted to start this thing, those were the people that had a problem with me opening Spaza's Day. Why did they do that? Number one, she said it was family politics. The other one was that they got like free. They got like free in Mpupu, you know, got free maize. You understand? So they were saying scale. Here's one ANC came to fight for Pakistan. EFF came to fight for Pakistan. 3 policemen came to fight for Pakistan. Only Ingata came to fight for me. Dude, it's crazy. It is crazy.
So the model itself and society and
so this
are just mess.
We need psychopaths. We need people that are going to be so crazy about an idea, right? I'm going to be so crazy about opening it and say, I am going to combine all of these things. I mean, if this would have never opened, if ever they needed to speak to everyone on that street and say, hey guys, let's do this. It was never gonna work. Yeah,
okay, so do these leaders, Manela, have to be entrepreneurs? Do you have to have a profile in entrepreneurship to understand what's okay? We know Manela has been an entrepreneur for like 16 years. He's the one who is supposed to lead us. Or do these leaders have to also be politicians or whatever in the industry? Which leaders?
Everyone. I mean, remember, we're taking the economy in different ways. I'm doing it. Here's an online shop that mixes every designer, you know, every clothing shop, right? I'm doing it my way. Uchi, here he is. He has a clothing shop, and then now they're going into printing, right? And then here's Ubuntu. She has this thing that we're doing now. We're having this is a media company. You know what I mean? So now you can imagine, Uchi, this is Township. This is so. At our level, this is what we do. Someone else is going to do something else. Someone else is going to go and activate those women. But what I'm saying is someone needs to lead any industry. Someone needs to come in and say, I will put my life on this. The rewards are going to be crazy. They're going to be rich as hell. Young talk. But someone needs to come. Unfortunately, we can't, in this forum, we can't
we can't have the solution. Yes.
Yeah, someone needs to come and do it.
You're in the clothing sector, right? And your specialty is then clothing. But you've obviously done so many collaborations outside of the township, right? Because your brand has kind of now lived outside of the township, and it's so we'll call it an established brand in the township, but it's not really a township brand, you know, to the market because it now lives outside the township. But now, like what Manele is also starting is a platform where all these people that are starting clothing brands and whatever, right, will say, no, but I will only sell to my friends because they understand the brand. I will only sell whatever to Tommy and to Bruce and whatever because or whatever, right? A conversation that kind of just happened last night. And just to put it into context is that the township economy in itself, right, needs its own branding and marketing discussions. How different are those conversations to the normal branding and marketing discussions of any other economy?
I don't think that. You know, I was watching some documentary today. It's about June 16. It's called Uprising. It's free for 7 days. And essentially, how June 16 happens is that it starts with an ideology of Black consciousness. And every block fits into how it gets there. So the students start revolting. They had teachers that were teaching them about Black consciousness. They start fighting for themselves and all this stuff. And this conversation is the same thing. What Banel is saying is that we need to have a person or an ideology that we're going to champion again. For me, and what we're doing essentially is that we're building a parallel economy that it can be part of the informal sector in the sense that we're building businesses that are thorough, that are going to pay tax, are going to employ people, we're going to have UIF, we must do it right, you know? But this is a conversation and this is the economy that we're building parallel to the government because we don't need the government to help us. And what people need to understand that in this world and where we're moving, no one's coming to save us. The same way Tate Maponya and her wife and everyone else in Atteridgeville, no one's coming to save us.
Yes.
So you must understand that we are on our own.
Coming to that,
so,
G. Coming to that.
Before you go on, sorry, G. I just want to kind of link what there's a question here. It's about it's a bit for the screen there, but I'll just put it up for reading and then I can take it off so that at least people can see engage. Is to say, so basically what Samantha's saying is that she's got a fruit and veg business and she abantu abaseka go to the markets to go buy, and bona they only cater for abantu abasemakha, you know what I mean? So how do they get it right? No, and I think you're the why I stopped you also kind of speaks to this comment or this question to saying we don't need the government, we need to save ourselves. So that I kind of just put it there.
So to Samantha's point, all she has to do is to grow her market in those homes. You know who's killing Labo Mama Basemakonen? Those guys Bamatrol. Abarasai.
Yes.
They're killing Labo Mama. Yeah, Abarasai. Bamatrol. They're killing Labo Mama. And mind you that they're not coming with a superior product.
It's the same product.
But the product there, we shower air mover, it's there for longer. But those are the people that are taking product to homes because they understand that convenience and safety. You know, now we're talking matters of gender-based violence. Do you want your daughter to be running to go buy grapes or amazambane? They say bangamtata. So those people, in the bigger scheme of things, they understand
perfectly.
Coming to that, before I cut you.
Okay, just a moment. It's your show. We are a guest here. We bring the things.
You're such a bully, Vanel.
My man. No, I'm feeling this vibe. Yawanuchi is correct. I want the question. The question that Samantha just asked. The question Samantha just asked is one of a person that is saying, I don't know what to do. No, you know what to do. You know exactly what to do. Those guys are truly, right? If people do not, I'm going to say this. If people do not support your business, your product is shit. On the real. It's either your product is shit or your service is just bad, right? So what you need to do, my man, what you need to do, you need to figure out a way how to bring those people either to you or you go to them. Young John, people go to Woolies. You know, Woolies makes pretty packaging. They know it appeals to us. They know it matches the look. You know, when Thesis makes this sport, it knows it appeals to me. You understand? Can Thesis say, wow, a sun hat?
No.
They can't. So now we need to get off the mentality of saying, Guti, our people do not support us. No, our people are very supportive. Black people are very supportive when you own a business. If only you stop working from the stomach and then you say, outing is some quarter, chips I for because you want to extend money. No, give those people food. And if that's what they want, you give them food. I'm telling you, they're gonna go crazy. So when it comes to Uguti, people are not supportive, it's a lie. Those people sell garbage. Like they sell garbage. But because it's eat, you open the gate, you get Ramazamba you sort it.
Yes,
so, Samantha, please relook at your strategy.
Talking about convenience now, and then we are moving into 4IR. How about Abantu Abafana Nabo Samantha? They can then start an app which they can deliver to these people. We don't have to wait for Uber.
A young person needs to come up and build an app that's going to do that. Everything we're going to talk about is going to lead to one thing. We need to get up and do things. My man. Serious. That's all we need to do. Anything that we lack, someone needs to come in. I mean, your Elons, your Black Coffees, your George Bezos, everyone that's doing anything. Someone decided. You know, they sold an ideology. If we're coming for everything, is an ideology.
Yes.
Right? To sell the ideology, hey, dude, hey, everyone, come in, let's do this. So,
okay, Banele, direct question to you, right?
Yeah.
How Masters Kulum about entrepreneurship and then the township economy, and then Uben Alabantelaba, who they have those ideas which are doing amazing things. But then now, Guza who often standard, Afunutenga, we come for everything for 100 million. Afunutenga, we are coming for everything for 100 million because it's a dope concept and stuff. Does that now kill our economy as Black people saying you are a sellout? Or do I have to say no?
No, my man. No. If Antonder comes and buys we coming for everything for 100 million, we won.
Product,
we won. You understand? Because that 100 million will activate something that we coming for everything worth 10,000 couldn't achieve. You understand? So we should not fall in love with ideology. You understand? No, ideology is only enough to achieve the next step. Well, if you say to me, I am a sellout for selling, we're coming for everything, and then I open a firm that employs 100, 200 people, you have the right to say I am a sellout. But I would have shifted from, you know, when Jay-Z, remember, Khalibu, you follow these things a lot. Remember when Jay-Z was criticized for saying that the Kaepernick, which were done kneeling. People were upset, right? How, dude? But we're supposed to be kneeling. And then he turned around and he sold. He got a deal with the NFL to run the halftime show.
You are the president, yeah.
Young Ton, if you're looking from the outside, yes, no, it's bad, but look at it. He is going inside the master's house, right? And his job is to take the resources from inside, and put everything on. And the time is really done for kneeling. We're done in everything that we do right now as Black people. We should be done with asking and begging and pleading and negotiating. We are done with that now. Now, science.
On
We do things.
A lot of people obviously don't know how to either tell their stories, and I guess telling your story also forms part of either your business structure or being able to speak or whatever it is that you need to do, right? How do these people then document their stories so that they can be heard or they can be seen, so that they get the support? But like, how do we document Township Economy? How do we package it in such a way you see we have theses that is celebrating 15 years? 15 years is a long time. Like, it really, really is a long time.
To me, Buntle, what I come to understand is that we, in terms of packaging your story, is that a lot of the time businesses run to want to be like something else, you know? So you want to emulate a business that's very far from you. The truth of the matter is that the best way of storytelling is you telling your story and being honest about yourself and what you do. So the biggest brand in the world, which is Nike, I don't care what Google does, I don't care what Apple does. For me, it's Nike. All Nike does is that it just tells the same story. If you're an athlete, if you've got a body, you're an athlete. You understand that? If you've got a body, you're an athlete.
Yes, definitely.
So whether you're running, you're walking, that's why you buy the products. Because they make you believe that if you've got a body, you're an athlete. So they just reinforce the same story. And what we've also come to understand as a brand, as pieces, that there's only one story we have to tell. It's the story of people defining themselves. You know, whether the platform, we don't care about the platform or how you do it, but let's do it. Just define yourself. Your story, this thing in itself, it's you defining yourself. And that's all you have to do. How we package that, it's something different, you know? So
it's a different story, yes.
Yeah, but I was having a conversation today with someone, and something important and very critical came. And this is what Township Economy and the people inside the economy must understand. There are two things here. Millennials and young people are too fixated on building brands, not building businesses. We must build businesses. So for Van Donder to come to Banele and buy 400 million, have a business that's making 10, 15, 20 million. So you must start getting fixated about businesses that are making money. This thing of building brands, it's good. It's good for our egos. It's good for our friends. It's good for everything. I don't want to lie. It's good. Yeah, it's very good. But we must start building businesses, because that's why we have very, very, very small percentage of black venture capitalists. And I'm not talking about entrepreneurs that come and want to buy your business. I'm talking about black venture capitalists. That's why we cannot take our businesses to VCs, because we're not building businesses. So we must start very, 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 very deep and in-depth about building businesses. That's why, for me, a very understated business who has a good brand is Porsche M. You know, that's a very good business. That's a business that's making plus minus 45 million turnover. The story of blockchain culture always comes in, and people will say, yeah, they want to write blockchain culture off. You can't write off a business that's making 12 million. That has
people are so fixated in building brands, you know. So and just to maybe go off a bit, I mean, the day I saw you, I happened to bump into one day as well. You're right. Is to say we were then having the conversation about masks. Yeah. So we're having this mask conversation, and everybody's now really excited about this. And I'll use this phrase about what's the thing that you're doing on Fridays, Dwadley Mask Fridays type of thing, and it became such a trend. Whereas from what I understood, it was more about how the business is then going to position itself, you know, away from just the brands and the collaborations and everything altogether. But I guess that's a different conversation, you know, for businesses, you know. And the one thing maybe, and part of our closing, we've got 6 minutes left, is to say we need to start identifying entrepreneurs that we can celebrate. Yeah? But now the question becomes, do we celebrate entrepreneurs that are township entrepreneurs, or do we celebrate township-based entrepreneurship?
No. Township based should only go as far as I have a store in the township because I have a market in the township, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you say it is township based. That store is township based, but the same store, if this is figures it out, actually we have a market. It deep in, they should open. You understand? Because let's see, your township, there is a lot of money in the hood. I shit you not. There is a lot of money in the hood. But now we are fixated with looking at the hood, what it actually shows. We want to go to the north, right? Because it's cleaner, it's all of that jazz. But where money is in the Pick and Pay would never invest in an environment where there's no money. Why are they coming there? You understand? When the Pakistanis came, they opened spazas inside squatter camps. If you look at LSMs do not accommodate that. No one has done any studies how much people in squatter can earn. But if you're in the hood, if you're lucky enough to be born from the hood, then you know there's ways in which you can pick out how to collect money, So that's what we need to. In terms of being based, we should only be based by branching really, but we should think global. You understand? And globally does not mean we have to really go globally. America, if it gets there, let it get there. But if global means going to all the hoods, then that's global still. If it means going to Sentin, that's global still. Young Tom. So that's where it's at.
No.
Geez, guys, we've come to the end of the show. I think it's been very insightful, and we possibly need more time because Township.
Why don't you have more time? Who said it must be enough?
Let's go. Another 15 minutes.
So who said it must be an hour?
No, okay. I said it must be an hour because it's part of the show.
But what I'm not giving people information.
Let's do another 15 minutes.
Okay, great. As long as you guys are comfortable, I'm happy with that.
If I may come in there with what Manele has just mentioned about owning Amakas and stuff, we've seen what the likes of IPA to Theo Baloyi has done in terms of branching out and owning your own value chain, in terms of Lama trucks that deliver their own and stuff like that, ukuvula idolo and stuff like that. Is this where, as entrepreneurs who are ever in the clothing space or in any industry, really should think that they should actually branch out? We Work Fresh started Work Fresh and now is branching out Emakasi and other things. And also creating jobs for also Black people is also another element that we need to fix in terms of you can build a brand, but also let the business of the brand succeed in terms of you now employing your own and growing the brand. What do you guys have to say?
There's no other way, my friend. You understand? If you take your time and you research any big business, there's always linkages.
Mm-hmm.
There's linkages to it's very. So a simple business like Famous Brands. Famous Brands has a link with ComAir, who has a link with Bidvest. You understand? Who supplies them? They own the value chain. And that's how you must think. So we've just opened up a print shop. For now, for the next couple of months, it's our print shop. So it's just internal. Few months, we'll take in other brands. But the reason why we did that thing is because we were tired. So me and Wandile get tired when come December, tomorrow's a holiday, shops are closed. No one wants to work on holidays. So we get tired. So the best thing to do is just do your own. And once you have your own and you can own your own value chain, that's when you can maximize. That's why. So cliques, they'll have their own beauty line because they want to maximize and they'll own the value chain. This thing of you got to do this and do that and have other people inside how you grow your business, it's going to stop because that's how you're going to grow the economy. And the truth of the matter is that a business like this is playing a very long game. We're not playing today. It's not about me and Wandi.
It's not about t-shirts.
No, it's a very, very long game. Like we might maybe we'll pass away and the business will be there. Because if you understand the struggle of Ntate Maponya, Ntate Mkonyane, those people set very high. The boundary is very high, you know. The pedestal is very high. We're not playing the way we're supposed to be playing. So if you imagine how big that land, Yamaponya Mall, is, we're very far. That's how big land we must own. We're very far. But we are still on the shoulders of big giants. And we can have different ideas. And that's fine. But the struggle is very long.
Oh, G is making an example.
Oh, I wanted to mention something, Banele, is to say, I know this is very close to you and very key to you as well, to say, when you are building, you are not I'm just going to make a t-shirt, right? So now I'm going to personalize it to the personal experiences that I know from everyone, right? Is to say, in everything that you're doing, is you want to build a value chain where abantu bakho, and you're securing abantu bakho. You know what I mean? So I won't get into the internalities of what you have done with Threads, right? But with Threads, you have said, guys, Edgar's is closing down. Zara is closing down. Guess is closing down. All these big stores are closing down. We've got Bruce, who's got merchandise. We've got Banele that's got merchandise. We've got Thesis that's got merchandise. What are we doing? Let us build our own Edgar's, and we will start a like by like, follow by follow, whatever it is that social media or the media is going to give us. And that is what I wanted to speak to Banele as a note, because I know you're going to add on that, you know, but maybe to add on, why do you think it is so important for you to build structures like that within the township? Because you are township based.
Okay. Now, if you look at the brands that we're going to open with SARS, and okay, I'm going to tell you something. When we decided to open Threads United, we wanted to open it on Sunday, May 14.
Yes.
Right? But I actually remember this is opened on the 16th of June. I was like, then it's not going to make sense. You know, rather open on the 16th of June to come to work with the youth, you know, to work with the narrative of the youth. And if you look at the brands that are on Threads United, Thesis is there. Its code is there. And then you ask yourself, why aren't many popular other brands are not there?
Mm-hmm.
You find, when you go to Thesis, you find a structure. You find a business. So there are more, when you come with an idea like this, where I come and say, Thesis, your job is to create clothing. Think of an idea. Think of how you want to see it. What do you want to put a stitch here? Do you want to put a stitch there? It takes a lot of mental capacity and a lot of manpower to do that, to become great in creating those garments, right? And then I come and say, I want to create a hub where my only preoccupation between 5 a.m. when I wake up and 11 a.m. when I go to sleep is selling. That's all I do. That's what the store is going to be doing. Selling. Yonkindo, selling. You understand? That's what we're going to. So now, what do I need for me to sell? I need someone who is good at social media, right? Who understands social media, who understands digital space. I come to you, Buntle, and say, Buntle, I want you to come in. Because if G wanted to become a top seller, then he would lack in creativity. Then it means his brands was gonna, you know. And Mina, if I come in and say, Mina, I know how to market anything, and then I say, but now there's a new space called digital, and I know I'm not the best. You are the best, right? Yeah. So now, what we've built now that's where you see, now there's a value chain. When G hires people to do the printing, all the people that used to go to Effortsburg to go print, they're not gonna leave.
In the hood.
You know, they will. So when you buy, say Bruce, let's say you're the customer here. When you buy a garment, that garment was printed by Thesis, right? It was retailed to through threadsunited.com. And then you saw the advert, or you were enticed by Buntle's company, Kabomo Communications. That's where it's at.
Social media, yes.
And there's so many people that are going to be involved. Graphic designers, you understand? That we need new models. You know, we need new models. You know how much it is to put your garment, Edgar's, for example. It's very expensive. And when you start your own shop, there's rent to be paid and all of these things. Yeah. Only bosses are able to do that with 50 years experience, and they've done it. You understand? So the value chain is very important, which right now, the business of the superstar is done. The superstar is gone now. The superstar entrepreneur is gone. Now it's time for groups. What we are creating.
Township Economy.
Building system.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you know, when we create a group between Thesis, Kabomo, Threads United, when we create that group, we are going to be venture capitalists, because anyone that wants to start a clothing brand
will come to us.
They need to go. If you need to manufacture, you go to G. When you need to retail, you come to me. When you need to communicate, they come to you. I mean, come on, it's done. So that's what we're building now. It's really all about that now.
Someone is asking here that, so about Threads United, which is Karabo Hamedi, how does one get on to sell their brand?
How does one sell their brand? Well, there's a link. You can contact me, or you can go to threadsunitedstore.com, right? And then there's an email, right, on a newsletter. You can just write it on there, and then I will know. I will just come back to you. Okay. Contact me directly. Yeah.
Amazing thing. I think also when you talk about system, we also managed to build something called the Elo app, if I can just add on that, right?
What is that?
The Elo app, it's born in Durban, born by my brother who's Sanele Mhlongo. So in Elo app is basically a convenience app where you find your barbers. You know, we are having the barbers come in there and register with us, so that when I'm out at Durban, when you land, you don't have time to look for a barber shop. You just go to Elo app and say, I need a haircut, and then you select a barber that's gonna come to your house and stuff like that. We have so many services that are there, not only barbers. We have chefs who can come and cook at your house. We have plumbers. Yes, we have plumbers. We have mechanics, and you don't have insurance, you are there. And then we are just saying we are building, as you have put it, Bane Loguti, we are grouping ourselves to say we can tackle much everything. You know, so Elo app is gonna come in Gauteng. We are still perfecting the model in Durban right now, and it's gonna come to Gauteng. And it's something that I just needed to add in terms of saying not only we can do it with clothing like you, as Funuk Ben any Threads United or whatever. If it is about Kona, then fine, that's good. But you can do it anyway. You know, we can do it in any way. Now I'm a veg. Kanubanu Samantha or who's this?
Yes.
Samantha. You can start that application where you say when they can contact you, and then you can package them. Instead of me taking Amazamba and Pela, you can just give me a hamper and saying, "Good Amazamba, I'm green peas, I'm carrot, and 250, and I can deliver at your house." You bring them to you. So these are systems that we as young people, as young entrepreneurs, need to think that we can really much have this, take advantage on this 4IR and this digital space to advance our businesses, because it's going down. It's really going down. It's time now that we group ourselves and then we continue.
And we're not fighting anymore. We are not protesting anymore, right?
Yeah.
We fight with establishing systems. That's what I'm saying. This is establishing a system. This is not a shop anymore. If they're going to printing, since they're going into printing, that's a system now.
But we said, Uguti, I mean, they're not about t-shirts anymore. They're not about beanies anymore. You know, I mean, they've done that, and I think that's the bread and butter of the business, because that's what people understand thesis to be. You know what I mean? But somebody is saying here, that it's about time. My heart sank when I saw Threads United, because I've been wanting or thinking of doing something like that, but the spirit ain't broken. Instead, I'm inspired to get into gear and do it, right? So it kind of speaks to Banele.
Look, I'm not into clothing. Let me tell you, I'm not into clothing. Right?
Before you go on, and okay, because you're also doing a lot of businesses, with that comment said, when you build things like Threads United, automatically people will start thinking there is employment. You know what I mean? And people will, but Thesis has been around for 15 years. If I ask for a job or something, they'll possibly hire me. You know what I mean? How do we then manage such expectations from people to say, as you
We don't manage those things, my man. Oh, we don't manage those things. Why should we manage those things? We should be managing building. We're gonna get the CVs. People asking perception. They think we have money. We don't have money. Doesn't matter. We're not in the business of managing those perceptions, right? So
the truth, from my end, the truth. The truth, Buntle, is that it's not a matter of, Banana's right, you cannot manage people's expectations and all that stuff. But the truth is that, once you've started something and you go the long haul, that's what you're expecting people to do as well, you know? So it's very hard to be onboarding people and paying them for the first time.
Sure.
And that's why established businesses have the probation, because they want to see if your heart is there.
Yes.
And another thing that's happening is that people must start understanding if they want to align to businesses. So if I want to work at threadsunited.com, the honest thing that I must be asking myself is it really a business that I want to be working with? You know?
I understand the business also.
Yeah. And for me, I can be testament to that, because I never found a thesis. But I came in and I've been here for 13 years and the business is 15 years. But I'm a person that's sat there because I understand the dynamics and I understand the long game.
Yes.
Part and parcel of the fact that the values of the founders, the values of the business itself align to who I am. So a lot of millennials, a lot of Generation Z, a lot of all those people that they group marketing-wise are people that are moving towards principles, values, and things that they can align with. So if you cannot align to a Threads United, it's very hard. Anyone can go get a job. You can get a job. But if you really want to work there, show your mental beyond the fact that you want the job. Show what your input going to be in that business for the long term.
Yeah. No, definitely, 100%. Right now, we're not dealing with people that are looking for jobs anymore. We know which people are looking for jobs. You are looking for jobs. You run a communications campaign, right?
Yes.
Every day you're looking for jobs. You go to pitches. Yeah. So we're not gonna cry
with that for the past 2 weeks. Yes. So, but what I'm saying, the reality, Banele, is that as soon as you start a business, right? And I'll say a lokshin. Now I'm going to leave because we're speaking township. Is that as soon as you start a business, you know, even when you started this Sako, you had somebody come to you and say, "Look, Shangela, 20 rand." You know what I mean? And I'm sure, I don't know, maybe I'm too young to understand that as well. Is that even when you started Thesis, you had people say, "Ish, you know, for me to go deliver 10 for you, you know, to go find customers for you." And people came up with all these different models, you know. So that's why I'm saying the reality is there, Uguti. When you have a brand or a business, right, people automatically want jobs. And when you don't give them jobs, they will say, Tina Bantaba Mnyama or Tina Bantaba Lokshinu, who've got all these businesses. Right?
No one has ever said that to me. No one has ever came to me. Because look, I'm saying this so that I want our entrepreneurs to be in the right space of thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
That thinking is time wasting. Those people will not come to you and say, when I'll see Pumsebens. Who said I must give you? Who said that? Who said I must? Because I need the talent the hardest thing to do would be to do anything with another person and more. You know that trip that you're always trying to organize what December, and you do it in 20 on the day
Yeah.
23 or we won. It happens in business. It happens with employees. Many are gonna walk through the door and then they're gonna say they want a job.
Yes.
There are many, but it's hard to find people that, like he said, align with the brand. And as an entrepreneur, you need to be savage in terms of your determination with getting the right product out there. Because once you start lacking and you start feeling sorry for people, you're gonna have something that is mediocre, and that doesn't serve anybody. You know, so abakala. But finally, we must be serious when it comes to partnerships, employees, and collaborations. Because right now, no one is doing anything mediocre right now. No one.
Yes.
No one. You have people coming up with
it has been done. It's enough.
Yeah.
And the Dallas car. We need to create. Now it's time to create. I would rather people say, I'm savage, I do not want to employ people, blah, blah, blah. Only to find what I'm doing was working with the best talent possible to create 100 jobs. Sure. We should not be explaining ourselves now. Now this is not the time to explain yourself. Right now it's time to create. We're going to create, and then conversations that you should be having is conversations like this. This is the conversations that you should be having.
We will perfect the model as we go along.
For real.
Yeah. That's another thing that entrepreneurs are afraid of doing, or anybody that is afraid of doing. They're afraid of starting because they want to say, it should be advertised.
They're not afraid to start. They're not afraid.
They must know that they must start now. In whatever case, you'll be wrong 100 times. But the Uzoba right at the end, and when you are right, that's what you want to.
I was a thesis, ne? I was a thesis. Is all. I went to both the stores. If you look at inside thesis, no, this was live so it. If you look at inside thesis right now, if I were to kidnap you and then I put you inside and then I open your eyes, you think you're not in Soweto.
You're in paradise.
Yes. What? This is an international store. When you think of the first time the store opened, it looked like shit. Seriously. Compared to now, it looked like shit. It's not that people are afraid of starting. It's not that people are afraid of starting. People do not want to start by looking raggedy.
Yeah.
They want to start glamorous. They are not creating businesses. They are creating brands, an extension of themselves.
The brand.
It's not fear. Because if it was fear, my man, if you're really hungry, for example, you would fight a vicious dog if you're really hungry. So it's not fear. It's this thing of wanting to be, you want to compete, like what he said. He said, you want to compete with a business that is far from you. So if you have money and you want to start a clothing shop, do you really think you need to have all these nice things Thesis has today? No, you can't start there. So embarrassment. That's where the problem is.
What's your idea, G, about separating yourself from the brand? Like people should know Thesis, but they don't know G. Or people should know G, they don't know Thesis. What's your idea around that? Because we find a lot of people or young entrepreneurs saying, I'm going to put it out there and say, this is my shoe, this has to sell and whatnot. How do you then separate that in terms of saying, there's Thesis, there's the brand, how do you do that?
Try as a person, try to remove yourself from the business as much as possible. What you're doing and the product that you're serving is the most important thing. You're not the most important thing in this element. If we're driving brands based on our egos, that's why that's all that matters, So we've established that boundary very quick, that we're here to build a brand and we're here to build a business, and that comes before us. Everything people will know our faces because one, they know us. Two, they'll know us from the collabs that we're doing. Because in the space that we're playing in a very big space where the big brands want to have some form of connection to an authentic brand, and their message must move forward. That's why Louis Vuitton will go fetch Virgil. That's how they link. This man is beyond that, is creative, but he's authentic. We've got the money, he's authentic, they link, the story moves forward. We'll find how we benefit together. So that's how people will get to know me and my partner. But the truth of the matter is that what we do on a daily basis is that we're here to serve people. And when we're here to serve people, it's not about you buying from me. I get backlash when I'm working behind the counter. Wandile gets backlash when he's working behind the counter. And you must get that backlash. And when we receive it, we don't receive it as owners. We receive it as people who are working inside the shop so that we can go back and fix it. So people must understand that boundary. It's a very thin boundary because you want people to buy into you. But the most important part, you must learn to separate yourself and push what you're doing. And it's not a personality clash, you know?
Sure. I think what you're saying
is just one more thing on the brand thing. Just one thing on the brand thing. I really feel passionate about this thing. Because you see, when you don't set the boundary, right? You run the risk of, one, you are going to be a superstar. People are going to celebrate you and say, hey, nice one. But you are a human being. You'll be out there with someone's girlfriend. You'll be out there drunk. And people are going to use that against you. You won't be able to post anything on social media. But you're going to make a gold encrusted leather bag that's unisex, that caters for everyone. Amazing. And you sell it, I don't know, 10 rand. People are going to say, that's the problem. Because they're going to try and hold your personality against it. So it's going to start blinding, you know. So the superstardom will ruin the brand. When you said Djibouti, they're playing the long game, for example, that's a real thing. Because it must outlast the person that founded it, which means it must be a system that works whether in corner or I need. That's what you need.
So what I'm getting out of it, right, is essentially people still need to be educated between the difference of the business and the brand. People still need to go through the education of marketing the business, marketing the brand, and all of those nitty-gritties. You know what I mean? Because half the time, mina ngizohamba ngiyothenga isweater Fortsback, ne? Ngilethe kuji ngiyayiprinter, and I feel like I'm ready to start a business because I came up with a dope idea, but I am not going through the foundation and the basis of what actually is a business, what it takes to run a business. You know what I mean? And I had people teach me along my journey as well, is that consistency breeds success. You know what I mean? You have to be consistent with everything that you're doing. Yes, we are going to make mistakes along the way and we're going to learn and so forth, right? But another thing, G, is that I mean, your brand has come up to a point where it's done so many collaborations. You know what I mean? And abantabaning for Relokshin, for example, and I'll use this in the eventing space and what is common in Soweto, you know, for people that are listening in Soweto, is that Thesis is a brand in Soweto. Ne? Banele has a party, for instance, for whatever the reason the party is or whatever it is that he's doing, and says, gee, because Wase Lokshini, please come and collaborate with my brand. Uji says, no, my brand doesn't align with what you're trying to do. I'm going to remove myself out of it. Lokshini, it's a Maruchi uzenza ngon, because now we're digital, then you're going to have a thesis must fall over people not understanding why brands actually collaborate. You know what I mean? So maybe let's just go into the detail of how do you align brand alignment with the collaborations that you do so that your brand is able to still breathe from all the collaborations that happen.
I mean, we've seen it from Skinny Two Socks as well. You know,
honestly speaking, I don't know like how that thing happens, because it's more, most of the time it's a gut feeling, you know. And also I don't like we're a brand that doesn't like short things. Like we like partnerships, we like long term, we like people that are gonna be there 5 years, 10 years from now. So it's very easy to be at the market today, be at the market next week, but you maybe not at the market because the market's not happening next week. You see.
Sure.
So in terms of aligning with what we do, is that we sit and we understand, do we want to be with that person? And also, it's a bit redundant of us to be 2 kilometers away from what you're doing. So the logic of opening up a shop from Moja, which is what, 4 to 6 kilometers away from the shop in Fulo, is because it's facing a different market. You know?
Yeah.
If you know Soweto and you understand Soweto, you will understand that everything is there to serve a market that's facing a certain direction. So if you have a shop, a Mapeta or a Glen, you're facing Randfontein, Kagiso, Protitlen, Protinor, Diepkloof, one market. So there's all these different sectors, and it's a way of how you service those sectors.
And how you
so
position.
For us to be in a place that's very close to us, it doesn't make sense, you know. But most of the time, it's about boundaries. We have to protect what we're doing. The more people see it in terms of markets, if it's markets, or parties, if it's parties, it's the more I personally believe that it gets the value. So the value in this brand is it being accessible, but also not being everywhere, you know? So that's how we build our value. When you start, you want to be everywhere. But as the game goes on, that's when we talk. Yeah, that's the value chains and owning the value chain. That's, you know, that's
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we've gone over our 15 minutes, and you know, we're now at 30 minutes. But I really appreciate your time, gentlemen. Like, I feel like the conversation that we can have again. You know what I mean? And just take the lessons that we've had here and kind of just dissect them and package them in a way where everybody's going to understand, because we possibly do need more time, you know what I mean? But I think in the show, what we've done is that we've spoken about key points or key elements that come from such a very broad topic of township economy, you know? And I think a lot of people enjoyed it because it was very insightful. And I think I was watching the Becoming document, where I've also learned that your story is good enough, because you learn from your own experiences for you to be teaching other people, you know? And I'm sure there's so many other brands that probably have the milestone of wanting to get to a point where they are as great as thesis. They want to get to a point where they are banele, we are coming for everything. He paza ngapa, amakanda, nama acha, he threads, you know what I mean? Also, Tommy is also at a point where they are building apps, you know, just for convenience and all of that. So it's become a very broad topic, you know. But thank you so much, gentlemen. G, as my big brother, I know we've never had a conversation based on anything else. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time. I know it was very short notice, but I appreciate that you've given us your time and the knowledge as well. You know, Banele, you're always on my speed dial. I speak to you all the time. Thank you so much for your time as well. And Bruce, thank you for your time, you know, in participating in these conversations. To our audience, to our viewers, I don't even know, like, you're actually family. Let me stop saying audience and viewers. You guys are family. And I really appreciate the time that you take in your contributions, in the questions that you ask, because it also helps build who we are, and just also kind of gives us an open view on the things that are around us. So from me to you guys, please do tune in on Wednesday for the ladies show, where we will be talking about sex education. So that's very different to what we're having today, but definitely do tune in at 6 p.m. Thank you so much from the Around the Table.
Tomorrow, 16th June, United Store.com. It looks like this. You see, this is a squad. This is a thesis, right? That's what we're doing now.
Yeah,
you're gonna find every brand. You're gonna find thesis. You're gonna find squad. You're gonna find Louis. Hey, is everybody?
So yes, guys, today I'm wearing a very different brand. I usually have local brands. Like, I think I'm one person that is an ambassador for most of the local brands, and I think people have known that about me, you know. So that's how I made sure that I keep it local, I support local. I remember when I walked into Thesis and I said to G, I don't have anything Thesis, but I walked out with a beanie, and I know that I've gotten more from that, you know. But anyway, thank you so much, gentlemen. I mean, let's keep connecting. We've got platforms, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much. Actually, Wednesday. Sorry, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.
Away.